What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bullshot Darts. So this last weekend, I had a Dart Players of Chicago event, and I managed to get the win, so it was my 4th title win on the year for this tour, and it also clinches me the #1 spot going into the finals in January. And I didn't throw my best darts, but there's a couple big takeaways I want to take from this tournament, so I just want to talk about those. And also, I have a weekend tournament coming up in a couple weeks here, the Southside City Cup in Chicago. And I'm super excited about this because it's been a while since I've gone into a weekend tournament feeling as good as I'm feeling now. And also, I've just wanted to throw this tournament for a while, and this will be my first year throwing it. So just want to talk about those things. But first, it is Bullshot's mission to grow the sport of darts. So if you are new, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, drop this video a thumbs up, and also go check out bullshotdarts.com. The Bullshot logo is the coolest logo in darts, so it makes it the perfect way to show your love and passion for the greatest sport in the world. And the store is going to be launched very soon. I cannot wait. And hoodie season is here, so I'm so excited to get this specific hoodie released because I have not taken this off since I got it last week. I absolutely love it, and I just cannot wait to get it available to you guys. So let's get into this tournament. Well, more or less about these positive takeaways. So I have been in a slump the last couple of months. I've kind of talked about it loosely in my last video talking about motivation. So I wasn't too sure what it was going to be like going into this tournament because, what the heck? Because I've had some weird times where, I'm coming out of a slump, I start feeling good again, and the second I face any kind of competition, my darts just go right back down. So this tournament was big for me to kind of see where I'm standing coming out of this slump. And like I said, I didn't throw my best darts, but I still ended the day with a 75 average. And like I said, I'm going to talk about these takeaways in a second here. So my darts weren't the greatest, but they were good enough to keep my confidence up and just let me know that I still can throw these darts, even if I'm feeling a little bit off. So a couple big takeaways from this tournament that I was really excited about. The first was that my best performance was in the finals. So I've talked about this previously. Sometimes I get in these modes where I'll start really hot and then I just fall off. So it's like as the tournament goes on, my darts progressively get worse. And if I manage to make the finals, that's where you should be turning up and throwing your best darts, but I would struggle and not throw my best darts. So with this tournament, my first 3 matches, my average went down every single match. And I started really hot in my first match. After my first 4 legs, I was averaging a 94 and had 2 180s. And of course, it's going to be hard to hold on to that. But after starting that hot and just coming down, going into the finals, I was pretty worried because, I could just feel my darts getting worse. So in the finals, I actually played a good buddy of mine here, Mike DePuma. I've talked about him before. We shot in Nashville together and St. Louis together, so it was really exciting to throw against him because we've thrown a lot together lately, but we haven't thrown against each other in a while. And every time we throw against each other, it's just always a really fun match. And we've had some crazy stuff that happens in our matches, so both of us were really excited to play each other. And I think that excitement helped me throw a little bit better in the finals too, because as I was saying, my average was going down with my first 3 matches, but I was able to bring out my best performance against him in the finals. So I threw a 78 in the finals, won 7-3. So I was just super happy that I was able to bring those darts out in the finals and end that tournament on a positive note, because that'll just help keep my confidence up coming out of that tournament. So yeah, finished strong, which it was a positive takeaway for myself. Another positive takeaway was my setup shots and my outs were really good. So even on those matches where my darts weren't that great and my averages was on the lower end, thankfully my setup shots and my outs were good enough, because if I was struggling on my outs, those averages would have been even worse because it was mainly my scoring that was going down. But when the end of those games would come, I was able to get my outs. So I was just happy that I was able to get my outs. A couple setup shots and outs that I can recall that I was happy about was, I'm trying to think here. I only had 1 ton plus out. I wired a 160 out. I went trip 20, double 20, and I wired a 149 out. So I had some looks at some ton plus finishes. I wasn't able to get them, but thankfully my next throw I was able to take them out. But two setup shots that I vividly remember were in the finals. It was back-to-back legs. I had 180 left, and I like having outs out like 180 or 220, where you know you're just going to stay on that trip 20, and if you get, you know, two of them, or if you have 220 left, you know, obviously you would need all three to leave that out. But I don't know, it's just, I love darts like that because I manifested in my mind. I know it's like, okay, I need at least just two triples on this throw, and a lot of those times when I come up, I hit it with my first two darts, and then once you hit those shots with your first two darts, the third dart is kind of like a sigh of relief, because it's like, I needed two triples, I got them on my first two, so this third one's just kind of like, even though it's not a game-winning dart, it almost feels like it because you're so satisfied with your first two darts. And sometimes I feel like a good setup shot puts more pressure on can mentally hurt your opponent more than taking out the out. Because if you take out an out, obviously your opponent's like, well, darn, I just lost that leg, let's move on to the next. But a good setup shot puts a different kind of pressure on them. And if they buckle a little bit on their next throw after you hit that shot, now that discouragement is going to run into the next leg. So I don't know. I love a good setup shot. I absolutely just love a good setup shot. And I was just happy that I was able to get some good setup shots in this game. Yeah, so those are just some takeaways. I was happy about the tournament. I don't know where I was going with this, but so overall darts were, you know, hit or miss, but I was happy to get the win because it also clinched me the #1 spot going into the finals in January. So just a little bit about my mindset going into the finals in these next couple of months. For some reason, whenever I play like league or tours like this and it comes to the finals, I struggle so bad in the finals. And I attribute that to putting too much pressure on myself, because it's not like a weekend tournament where it's just like, all right, I'm going to show up to this tournament, throw some darts and come home. Now, a finals, it's like I have months looking forward to this, so I can just overthink it. In the past, you know, like in leagues and stuff, some of my worst performances have always been in the finals because I just have too much time to overthink these things. It's kind of like when they release a bracket a few days in advance of a tournament. I try my hardest not to look at it, but it's hard not to look because you want to look at it to see who you're playing. But if you do that a few days in advance, now you have 3 days of knowing who you're playing. So a big example of this was during one of the Cyber Series events. My first round, I had to play John Part. John Part, the biggest legend in North American darts. 2-time world champion for the PDC, and just an absolute legend. So when I saw that I was playing John Part, and I knew this like 2 or 3 days going into this tournament, I was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm playing the biggest legend in North America. And I overthought it way too much, played him, and he just absolutely whooped me. And one thing that was crazy too, because John Part also does commentary for the PDC. So when we got connected on the video call and he started talking to me through the video, it was like a surreal moment because he has a very distinct voice. So when I was hearing it and like I'm communicating with this voice, I don't know, it was just crazy. So yeah, going into these finals, my mindset, I'm just not going to think about it. That's my plan. So especially going in as the #1 seed, I don't want to put too much pressure in myself. You know, being the #1 seed, what if I lose that first match against the 16th player and stuff like that? But I am just going to try my hardest to view this as just another day of darts. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself. And I'm just going to go into it having fun. And one thing that's going to help me get pressure off of myself is in the past going into these finals, the winner would get a CDC Tour card. So a CDC Tour card is probably like the most important thing to me as a darts player. I want to hold on to that. and just build as a CDC player. And I didn't have it yet, so I was overthinking that part of it as opposed to the actual darts. Like, I wanted that CDC tour card more than anything. But now I have my CDC tour card, so it's actually going to be a lot of pressure that I'm not going to have on myself. So I'm happy that I won't be thinking about that aspect of this finals. All right, so I talked way too much about that, so let's get into the Southside City Cup that I got coming up in a couple weeks. I'm so excited about this for a couple reasons. One, I've always wanted to play this tournament, and this will be my first time, so that I'm excited for. But two is that there are so many doubles events. Other tournaments I played in the past, the only doubles events, you got doubles 501, doubles cricket, and then you have the singles 501, singles cricket, and sometimes mixed trips. So going into this, I think there's 5 doubles events, and I'm playing with Trevor. I'm probably gonna butcher his last name here, but Bubolts, Trevor. He is another CDC player. He's thrown in the Continental Cup in the past. So I'm excited to play with him. And like I said, there's like 5 doubles events. There's doubles 501, doubles cricket, doubles Chicago format. And if you're not familiar with Chicago format, it's 501, 301 in cricket. Depending on the tournament, they might tell you what order you have to play, but usually it's court calls, but you play those 3 in a best of 3. Doubles 301. I think that might be it for that, but then there's also mixed doubles, which I'm really excited about because me and my girlfriend are playing mixed doubles together. She played her first tournament down in St. Louis, and it was too cool. And ever since then, she's been wanting to get more involved in darts. So this will be our first time playing a mixed tournament together. So I'm really excited about that. She's really excited about that. Maybe when I recap that tournament, we'll have her come on here and talk about, well, how she liked her first darts tournament, her first like real tournament. So, whew. All right, I'm getting long-winded here. I'll get my last throw in a second here. But anyways, I guess there is no anyways. That's it. All right, let's get in one more throw here. See what we can get. Whenever I do this, I always mess up bad. So let's see. Yep. Well, not yet. I mean, it's on the wire, but my darts have just been feeling good. My follow through feeling good. My grip's feeling good. So I'm just really excited going into this tournament to throw well. All right. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Click one of the videos that pops up over here. That's pretty much it, guys. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, drop the video a thumbs up. Be on the lookout for the first Bullshot merch drop. I'm so excited for it, guys. I'll see you all in the next one, and shoot well.